Five Guys Burgers and Fries has become a phenomenon the world over. And not just because of its catchy name. From the notably tasty food to the iconic 50s diner aesthetic, there are plenty of reasons why this burger joint has been on the minds and lips of foodies.
Hey, what in the name of ground beef is going on?
Mr. Bailey, try this.
Dexter, I don't know.
But the most pressing topic of conversation is also the least flattering. Why does a trip to Five Guys have to break the bank? Well, today, we're ordering up the never-frozen truth and taking a peek into the greasy paper bag of Five Guys history to learn once and for all, why is Five Guys so expensive? Before we get grilling, make sure to subscribe to the Weird History Food channel. After that, head down to the comments and let us know what other pricey food you'd like to hear about. Okay, if there are only Five Guys, how do they make so many burgers?
Why do you want to eat this stuff anyway?
Between 2010 and 2011, Five Guys Burgers and Fries was the fastest-growing fast food chain out there, with a 32.8% increase in sales. Today, there are nearly 1,700 locations worldwide, with even more on the horizon. But even as Five Guys looks to be thriving, it has also come under fire by its target demographic. Millennials have been blamed for killing everything from the diamond industry to fabric softener to Santa Claus, probably. And now it looks like Five Guys might make the list. While their food may be delicious, it's also pretty pricey compared to similar fast food chains. Depending on where you are in the world, you can probably go to your local Burger King, Hardee's, In-N-Out, McDonald's, or Wendy's and get a burger for less than $4, with Hardee's being the cheapest at just $2.29. Getting a similar meal at Five Guys will be almost 4 times that amount at $8.89 for their little single patty burger. Five Guys' most expensive burger is their bacon cheeseburger, which totals a sticker-shocking $13.09. That's almost $3 more than their closest competitor, McDonald's $10.19 double bacon quarter pounder with cheese. And no, that doesn't include fries or a drink. Ouch! A meal that clenches your heart and your wallet.
Oh, this is a big one.
After the restaurant chain's initial explosion in popularity in the 2010s, fans of the chain gradually began to take notice of the hefty price tags en masse. But the controversy has taken fresh form in more recent years as people take to social media to air out their grievances with what some called highway robbery.
So I'm just wondering why the food here is so pricey.
Hey, come on now. What robber leaves you with a burger? Fans flock to the defense of Five Guys, while detractors vehemently disparage the brand. And though it can't be denied that the restaurant is a comparatively costly fast food option, there are reasons for Five Guys' pricey menu. And they're a little more nuanced than the founders' need to maintain a fleet of personal watercraft. But first, we've got to go back to the beginning. The time, 1986. The place, Washington, D.C. The advice, about to be served hot and with cheese. Jerry and Janie Morrell had saved up $70,000 for their 4 sons to go to college, but had noticed that their oldest boys weren't exactly the scholarly type. They decided to give them an ultimatum: either get a degree or start a business. Their sons chose the latter. That same year, the Morrell family used their $70,000 as startup money to open up their first carry-out burger restaurant in a shopping center in Arlington, Virginia. Jerry and his sons Matt, Jim, Chad, and Ben became the titular Five Guys on the sign. But 2 years later, the Morrells had another child, a 5th and final boy named Tyler. At that point, Jerry removed himself from the equation and decided the restaurant would instead be named for his 5 sons. Pushed out of the business by an infant, how did Jerry ever recover? Of course, he remained involved in the business, even though his name technically wasn't on the sign anymore. Five Guys evolved over the years as the guys perfected their burger-making art. In this early stage, the Morrells adopted a simple approach to their restaurant. Five Guys Burgers and Fries offered totally fresh food. Their buns were made daily by a bakery in the same Arlington shopping center where their restaurant was located. They hand-formed their burger patties, their free peanuts were refreshed often, and their toppings and ingredients were never frozen. This commitment to freshness, as well as their signature French fries cooked in peanut oil, garnered a cult following. A cult following without a single peanut allergy in sight. Even the Pentagon took notice and tried to put in an order for delivery of 15 burgers. Jerry Morrell refused the order, telling Pentagon officials that Five Guys doesn't do deliveries. Allegedly, an admiral personally called Morrell to tell him, "Mr. Morrell, everyone delivers food to the Pentagon." In response, Morrell put a 22-foot banner outside the restaurant that read, "Absolutely no delivery." Five Guys doesn't negotiate with the Pentagon. Word quickly spread through Arlington, and between 1988 and 2001, the Morels opened 4 more Five Guys restaurants around the Washington, D.C. area. This time, they included dine-in seating to let their newfound customer base sit, enjoy their meals, and take in the white and red checkered environment. From there, the Morels started offering franchise opportunities in Maryland and Virginia, which is when the brand really started to take off. They struck a deal with Mark Mosley, a former kicker for the Washington Redskins and unstoppable record setter before his retirement and foray into business. Mosley would take on the responsibilities of franchising Five Guys while the Morel family focused on the food. This proved to be a very lucrative partnership. In just 18 months, Five Guys sold out of their available franchise territory in both Maryland and Virginia. In May of 2009, then-President Barack Obama gave the chain some free publicity when he made an unscheduled stop at a Washington, D.C. location while filming an NBC News feature with Brian Williams. Obama ordered several meals for his staff, a cheeseburger with ketchup for Williams and a cheeseburger with lettuce, tomatoes, jalapenos, and mustard for himself. He shelled out $80 for the order and fled the gathered spectators with his paper bags in hand.
Thanks, Obama.
By the 2010s, the brand had become a beloved regional go-to, similar to the West Coast's In-N-Out chain. At the time, it was difficult not to weigh the two against each other. The style and color palettes of their restaurants, burger-focused menus, and never-frozen foods were all mirror images of each other. Each brand had their die-hard fans and their die-hard haters. But as the years went on, Five Guys was seeing a lot more of the former. They expanded their franchising efforts into the rest of the country before going global, with new locations popping up in Asia, Canada, Europe, and the Middle East. Then, in 2020, indoor dining and eating establishments got a little more complicated for some reason we can't quite recall, and Five Guys was forced to innovate. A location in Surfside Beach, South Carolina, opened up and decided to retain the drive-thru window left over from the previous business. This way, customers wouldn't have to walk inside the restaurant during the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. This made the Surfside Beach location the first ever Five Guys with a drive-thru. Yes, you heard that right. Five Guys had been operating without a single drive-thru window for 34 years. In 2023, Five Guys moved their company headquarters to the newly built 5th floor of a building in Alexandria, Virginia. Despite all these massive changes, the Morels have continued to own and operate Five Guys as a family business, and the menu has remained surprisingly unchanged. Five Guys Burgers and Fries offers basically what it says on the sign: burgers and fries. There's also a grilled cheese and veggie option for those with dietary restrictions, hot dogs for anyone looking to change things up, milkshakes for that 50s vibe, and free peanuts for all. But otherwise, Five Guys keeps things deceptively simple. What exactly does that mean? Well, when you look at a Five Guys menu, you won't see any fancy titles or marketing language. You're ordering hamburgers, cheeseburgers with Kraft American cheese, and bacon burgers. That's it. The deception comes in when toppings get involved. With over 250,000 combinations to try, ordering is anything but simple. Five Guys offers ketchup, mustard, mayo, barbecue sauce, hot sauce, and A1 sauce, as well as relish, lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, jalapenos, green peppers, mushrooms, and onions, which you can get fresh or grilled. The fries, which are often too generously heaped into an order, can be served as is or Cajun style. And then there's the secret menu, where you order cheese fries or a patty melt if you're feeling extra spicy. The restaurant prides itself on its excessive choices, and that pride isn't limited to the food. Five Guys was also the first burger chain to adopt the Coca-Cola Freestyle machine in 2011, giving guests free reign over their fountain drink experience like some kind of impossible soda wizard. That's all well done and good, but why, for the love of Cajun-style fries, is the food so pricey? There are actually multiple reasons why Five Guys has remained so disproportionately expensive when compared to similar burger joints. The first is the early commitment to fresh ingredients, which was carried over from the original 1986 restaurant. Fresh food costs a lot of money, and shipping it all over the world without freezing it is costly. The buns might not be made in a bakery in a Virginia shopping center like they used to be, but they are still made fresh off-site and then delivered to stores. Likewise, their beef and toppings are all shipped fresh and stored in coolers rather than freezers. In fact, as a commitment to never serving frozen food, there are no freezers in any Five Guys locations anywhere in the world. Another reason for the high price point is the portion sizes at Five Guys. It's a well-known fact that the restaurant loves to smother you in french fries, but the chain is equally magnanimous with its toppings. You can pile that burger as high as you want, and you won't see a single dime added to your receipt. But while you aren't paying for your egregiously large helping of grilled onions, you are paying for those specialty French fries. The peanut oil Five Guys uses to cook their fries is a less common product than canola oil, which is favored by many other fast food chains, presumably for its lower cost. Of course, location and changes in the market also fluctuate prices. A bacon burger in Vermont is priced lower than one in California, just by way of the cost of living differences. And if one of the vendors raises their prices, Five Guys responds with a price hike as well. Outside the cost of food, Five Guys also puts their employees through uncommonly rigorous training and offers various assistance programs for continued education. Full-time employees are eligible for retirement savings and health insurance, and all employees get one free meal during their shift, 50% off meals off the clock, and twice-a-year bonuses. Overall, according to the sixth guy himself, Jerry Morrell, what it comes down to is this: Five Guys would rather raise prices than sacrifice quality. In other words, the prices aren't going to come down anytime soon, so make sure you load up on toppings. So what do you think? Is Five Guys premium fast food or just overpriced grub? Let us know in the comments below, and while you're at it, check out some of these other Weird History Food videos.